Greetings and welcome to the Mount Rushmore podcast. My name is Jeff, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friends Richard.
Hello.
And Michael.
Howdy.
You probably guessed from the title what Mount Rushmore is. We rate and rank the top 4 of any given topic, and this week I've chosen the topic, and it's the Mount Rushmore of canes, staffs, and walking sticks.
Hey, Jeff, what the hell were you thinking?
I don't know.
Or, hey, Jeff, are you okay? Are you just looking for, are you looking for recommendations? What's going on down there?
Through the lens of the platforms that we often cull from, being pop culture, entertainment, TV, film, comics, whatnot, those can be things used to overcome a disability, to enhance one's mobility. They can be complete affectations. They can be weapons. They can be embellishments. And so I find them all very kind of interesting. And I don't know what that where that came from. But I will tell you the winning choices for this week are as follows: the Tramp's cane, as wielded by Charlie Chaplin, as in the character of the Tramp. Gandalf the Grey's walking stick. Dr. Donald Blake's walking stick, Thor's one-time alter ego, Dr. Donald Blake. And I guess it's a walking stick. I guess it's more of a cane, or it's a something that is used by Fred Astaire in the film Blue Skies in the Putting on the Ritz routine. And there's a legion of other dudes behind him.
Richard, we're done.
Using
Super.
a similar... So those are the winning choices, unless one of you two schmucks can knock those choices off the Mount Rushmore. So,
what if 2 of my choices have already been said?
Oh my God! You know what? It's about the choice,
just
but
one
it's
of
also
mine.
about the justification. So I want to hear why you chose it.
Okay.
Eeny, meeny, miny, Richard, you go first.
All right. So I'll get one of the ones out of the way that is a winning one. Might as well knock the winners out from the start. It's a little bit of a cheat. It is Gandalf's staffs, plural, because throughout the history of the Hobbit and the Lord of the Ring trilogies, he has a grand total of 5 different staffs.
Oh wow!
Also on my list, by the way.
Okay.
Okay.
How can it not be?
I would say that if there was any one I would probably give the nod to, it would probably be the one that you see in Fellowship of the Ring, the Rivendell staff, the one that's given to him by Elrond, just because, look, that's the one that we see in the No One Shall Pass scene with the Balrog. But there are 5, actually. He actually starts off in The Hobbit with a very plain, it's called the Opening Flower. It was crafted by elves and was presumably the first instrument that he wields when he goes to Middle-earth. This gets destroyed in the desolation of Smog, and he winds up using a spare staff that I guess his friend Radagast just happened to have laying around.
Wow. It's a Fender Mexican staff that's like out of tune.
Yeah, you can never get it to hold tune. Anytime he tries to perform any spells on it, it goes just a little bit off. So that staff winds up getting dwindled over time. So throughout the course of The Hobbit, and then by the time we get to Fellowship of the Ring, that's the one that we first see him with. Then he is presented his Rivendell staff by Elrond, as I mentioned, when they go there for the big meeting. And then the last one is the white staff that he apparently, and I didn't know this, was a gift from Galadriel after he becomes Gandalf the White. And I just love this idea that as the character progresses, not just as his look in terms of his clothing and his hair, not only does that change, but also his staff changes itself. Yeah. And it kind of becomes sort of a reflection of his importance and status and power as a wizard. So that's why I kind of chose all of them, because I think that they're critical to the journey of Gandalf, from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White.
He does, yeah, he certainly does a fair amount of leveling up throughout all of the movies, and especially like going from like Hobbit to Lord of the Rings. He's a lot, especially in the movies, he's a lot dopier as a character. He's portrayed a little more befuddled, a little more just kind of along for the ride, even though he's kind of spurring things. It's not quite until kind of halfway through the Fellowship of the Ring where he's a little bit more devious, a little bit more, I guess, more cunning. And I think that probably just speaks to the danger and the importance of what's going on. It's not just a fun adventure to get some gold.
Do you know what I think is interesting about the outline of, if you saw the silhouette of Gandalf, you might interpret it as a wizard, or you might say this is a wizened older man who's using this staff not as a focus for his spells or magic, but as something to support him as he travels through his day.
He definitely like lays into like the kind of theatricality of it, like when he's meeting with I can't remember his name, the king, the horse lord that has been kind of corrupted by Grima Wormtongue. And, they say, leave your weapons behind. And he's like, you can let a man carry his stick. And then, like, he gives, like, a wink and a nod to one of the fellowship as he, like, walks in. It's like, yeah, okay, this is this guy's, where he can channel all of his wizard energy through. And they're like, he didn't take his staff. Come on.
Yeah.
It also is a nice just visual difference to, anytime you're playing Dungeons and Dragons or playing a video game in kind of a faux medieval setting, someone's got a bow, someone has a sword, someone has a shield and an axe, and he's got his staff, so he's got his look, his weapon, although later on he also carries like a giant sword as well. It's a good look to when you're like flinging around a big stick and knocking someone down.
Yeah, essentially he is a character from the Gauntlet video game, is what he looks like. And he's the wizard who's got his staff. That's sort of I believe Lord of the Rings came before Gauntlet, the video game. Don't quote me on that. That's a joke. Please don't get mad at me, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but when the part when he just breaks a pot and eats random lumps of meat.
Right. It's very strange. Yeah, I don't remember reading that in the books.
Well, cool. That's fun that we all kind of jumped in on that one. I wonder if any other character or any other user of a cane or a walking stick will be as powerful as Gandalf, because was he maybe the most powerful character in all of Tolkien, do you think?
I'm guessing Sauron was. Sauron was probably,
yeah.
And Sauron
okay.
At one point, but yeah.
Winfield, what do you got?
Okay, my next choice is the walking cane used by Willy Wonka, specifically Gene Hackman in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Did you say
Gene Wilder.
Gene Hackman?
Gene Wilder, sorry.
Okay.
That would be a pretty kick-ass casting.
Yeah. When the first introduction of the character, he's like, nobody knows who Willy Wonka is. He's this reclusive guy who's holed up in this chocolate factory that makes all these wonderful sweets. And then as Gene Wilder emerges, when all of the golden ticket bearers and their parents have presented themselves in front of Willy Wonka's factory, he's walking with this limp, and he's kind of this pathetic looking kind of has this pathetic weight to himself, and his cane gets stuck, and he continues to walk, and he falls over, and he spins and does this big somersault, and everybody applauds. And the famous story is that he chose, Gene Wilder chose to do this to give with the somersault and everything, to give this sense of you can't trust this person. You don't know if they're lying, if they're telling the truth, what to believe, and that kind of carries on throughout the entire rest of the story of this guy that is a deceiver. He's trying to kind of weed out all of these kids and these parents on who is the person that is going to take over and be true to themselves. And it all starts with that kind of initial Kane performance. And he continues to carry this thing throughout the rest of the film and the story and dance with it and use it for various things. And, a lot like, I think you mentioned kind of Charlie Chaplin, it's kind of, it becomes this kind of extension of him. He's walking with it, although he doesn't seemingly need it. He's walking with it as an affect of this kind of dandy atmosphere with his top hat and his bow tie and his walking cane. He's, seemingly rich, but also crazy at the same time.
Boy, that's a fun choice. It does seem like he's doing with that cane what Gandalf is partially, and that's using it as a way to perhaps lure a judgmental observer into misjudging his power and his vitality. But it's he doesn't use it to zap people. He lets the Oompa Loompas take care of all of his dirty work. Okay, so officially,
I don't know if he hits anybody with a cane. I assume he does. I assume that there's a small smack. Yeah.
Dr. Donald Blake is officially knocked off of the Mount Rushmore by the Willy Wonka, but let's see what happens with Richard's choice.
All right, so I'm going to go with the second choice from my list that is on your list, and that is Charlie Chaplin's Little Tramp.
Oh wow!
Walking stick. Perhaps the most well-known of all. I would argue, I think the most well-known of all canes in pop culture. Certainly the most identifiable with a specific character.
Yeah. And
I just love it. I think it's I love the idea of how it looks. Kind of just absolutely complements the Little Tramp's personality. Mm-hmm. It's bowed. It's really kind of slender. It looks like it's going to break at any point. Looks like it's been around for a while. It's seen some things, and I just love that idea of it. Plus, there's a good chance it's being used to whack somebody in the head by the end of the short.
Yeah,
which is really all that I'm here for with the Charlie Chaplin short. I love Charlie Chaplin shorts. There's a bar near me that they would throw on Charlie Chaplin movies all night on their TV instead of having sports on or whatever. And I just thought that was the coolest thing I could think of when I first went to that bar and found it a few years ago, and really reignited my love for silent comedy, specifically Charlie Chaplin. And I think that the twirling of the cane kind of, it's impish a little bit, but at the same time it just works. That's one of the reasons why it works for the character so well.
Yeah, I agree. I also imagine it is used as a bindle stick at some point.
Yeah,
for sure, yeah.
Films. Yeah.
Very versatile, yeah. And it's a very versatile thing. It also can be used as I believe, as a pool cue at some point. Likely a golf club also.
Well, I think the Tolkienian archetypes that were given so much dimension in his work, I think Chaplin borrowed that many of the Tramp's signature elements from different archetypes and characters that he'd seen in other vaudeville and in comic strips and things like that. And I think the cane was one of them. But obviously it's not about these affectations, about how they're all put together into this character and what they do. If I wonder if at the time, so I don't attribute a staff as wielded by Gandalf as an upper class affectation, but I think with the Tramp, the bowler hat and the cane, no matter how ill-fitting they might be, they show a person's aspiration to this other class or something. So I think that's a fun element of that.
I think one interesting thing about Charlie Chaplin is that like every aspect of him visually is so iconic, from the bowler hat and the mustache to the excessively baggy outfit to the giant shoes that are mismatched or often have holes. And the cane is certainly such a big part of that. And I think it speaks more to, I think is one of the most like character. I think it really shows his character. He is it's a bend not break sort of thing. It's always bending, but the character never loses faith really in whatever he's pursuing. He's this guy that is, the little tramp is constantly in the worst possible situations, from being hunger to being trapped inside the machinery of, fill in the blank contraption. And even when things are the worst, he never turns bad. He's never, he can be mischievous, but he's never a bad person. And I think that he's never, society has never broken him. And you look at just the image of him standing there leaning on the cane. It's like, that's him. Everyone has been leaning on him, and he's never he's never broken to the point where his spirit is never broken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool. It's his resilience. Yeah. Okay, we are at our halftime, and it's time for me to ask you to go back and download, rate, and review past episodes and join us out on social media. That would be Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Others who have done that have ended up giving suggestions as to future show topics, and some have ended up being on our show. And with the magic of Zoom, you could do that if you felt like it. Call in, be on our show. We'll pick a topic that you want to talk about. It seems like I'm begging. I'm not. I don't care. Okay, we're back. All right. This would be Michael? Your third?
Yeah.
Okay.
My third choice is somewhat personal, but also I think pretty iconic and fun too. It is the bamboo stick used in the song "Me Old Bamboo" from the movie Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, that's kick-ass.
That's a nice one.
And I say it for two reasons. One, the scene itself is this perfectly wonderful dance sequence where Dick Van Dyke has gotten himself into a lot of trouble. He's an inventor by the name of Caractacus Potts, and he's at some county fair, and he's given someone a bad haircut with his haircut machine that he's invented. And he's just running away, and he ends up escaping into this big tent full of these, I guess they're called Morris dancers, which is kind of like this English folk dancing with a lot of choreography and often uses swords or sticks. And in this case, it's kind of this, it's just this dance troupe that he gets involved in. And the song, if you haven't heard it, it's just this wonderful song that goes, "Me old bamboo, me old bamboo." And it's very, very much right in line with something out of Mary Poppins as well. He's used to doing this kind of acrobatic kind of dancing with a stick. But it's like this troupe of 15 or 20 guys that are dancing with very intricate dances with these poles that are used as these canes in this theatrical dance number. And I bring it up because I love the song and I love this movie. I love Chitty Chitty Bang Bang because it's just ridiculous from top to bottom. But also because it was a couple of years ago now that we went out to Descanso Gardens here in Los Angeles, this lovely garden place outdoors. And my son Felix was kind of walking through the Japanese garden portion, and he was kind of walking around and got behind some bamboo. So I started singing the song from this movie, and then we played it on the car on the way home, and it's all he wanted to hear, going forward, to the point where he has a stick at home that he'll sing "Me Old Bamboo" with. And listen, when he's a year and a half old, there's nothing better than seeing your own personal wish fulfillment taken on by your son. And it's just this thing where he has one of these sticks that my dad made him that's just a stick. It's like a long dowel that he has at his grandparents' house, and he has one at home, and every once in a while he'll grab it and do this dumb little dance, and it's like, oh god, I taught this kid something so weird, and stupid, and so delightful to see. And then sometimes he grabs it, and then he starts walking like an old man. Like he hunches his back over, and he just does this old man dance, this old man walk that is unrelated to anything. And it's like, where did he learn it? Where did he learn to walk like an old man? It wasn't from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. It must have been from some of the other dozens or hundreds of things he's seen. But like, it all feels like so wildly connected. This one random thing, this one exploration he made into walking in the bamboo forest portion at this garden, and turned into like this love of this song. And I don't know, it's just
so cool.
But the dance sequence itself, watch Chitty Chitty Bang Bang,
it's Ian Fleming.
Ian Fleming and I think Roald Dahl. I think both of them teamed up together.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bamboo stick dance.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's the wiki says it's that both Step in Time and Me Old Bamboo were loosely based on Knees Up Mother Brown, which I've never heard of, a British music hall.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's a Sherman Brothers tune. So, yeah, that's one thing I think we've discussed, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, how it feels like a Disney film and a Bond film, just kind of got crossbred with each other. Super cool. What a fun choice. Okay, Manfredi, what do you got?
Well, I can't do anything as heartwarming as that, so I'm going to pass. No, I'm not.
Pass. Oh, okay.
No, I'm not. My next choice is Loki's Scepter from the Avengers movies. And I love it because of how versatile it is.
Uh-huh.
I love this idea that it can be transformed into a physical weapon. Mm-hmm. Both kind of as a short staff or a longer staff. It can be, Loki has the power to kind of transform it, kind of the way he has the power to transform himself. It can be used as a mind control device. Or it's just a rad-looking cane that he can use to complement his formal wear.
Yeah.
Like if he's got his tux on, he can just turn it into a walking stick, and it looks super cool. That's all I got. That's mainly why I chose Loki's Scepter. I think it obviously it plays an important role in the Avengers movies in terms of having the Mind Stone, and
they certainly mined the hell out of its appearance in so many movies.
They certainly did.
I mean, it was all over the place from the Avengers movies and going Captain America and traveling, especially like just the different stones that are all over the place.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, what a fun choice.
I just think, and like I said, I just think it's neat because it's so versatile. Because Loki is being such a trickster, his whole gig is that he can become so many different things. So it only makes sense for him to have a weapon that is equally as versatile as he is.
I would say like Tom Hiddleston's stature is not that threatening, so that giving him a kick-ass weapon is pretty important.
Yeah, anyone who also played Hank Williams Sr. is not going to be not going to be a physically imposing force.
Yeah. Winfield, what's your final choice? So still on the block are, I think we still got Gandalf the Grey's walking stick. Tramp's cane's probably still up there. Donald Blake has been knocked off, but still Putting on the Ritz is still up there. What do you got, Winfield?
Well, I'm going to yank Fred Astaire and yank that Putting on the Ritz out of there using my shepherd's crook is the hook that's used in vaudeville to yank someone off of stage.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Is that
all credit.
What is that? Is that a staff? What do we call it?
It's a big staff with a big hook on the end.
I know what it is. I've seen Showtime at the Apollo. I know how it works. I just didn't know where it fit into our taxonomy.
Yeah, 19% of all Bugs Bunny or Looney Tunes cartoons, all cartoons in general, use this feature. But I guess it originated. So all credit due to my wife Emily, who came up with this. She was when I was telling her what we were doing, she's like, "What about the big cane they use to pull people off stage?" And I was like, "This is so perfect." I thought, what a perfect way to end as like a final thing to end for my choices. Plus, somehow it played into all of my other choices. I realized there was some element of theatricality with it, whether it was Mule Bamboo and Willy Wonka or Gandalf, feigning, his mortality with his staff. But I guess it originated at the Miners Bowery Theater in like the early 1900s, and they'd have kind of like an open mic night where if you came up and you performed well, you'd get $1, which for like the 1900s was a hell of a lot of money. So they'd have all these people that would just come on stage and sing and dance and do their things, and some of them wouldn't realize that they were being booed the hell off stage. So someone would grab, like they'd have like this shepherd's crook that they'd have behind the scenes for some sort of play they were doing. You just have a kind of a warehouse full of costumes and nonsense, and someone would just grab the hook and pull them off stage to end their time, and it just became like the colloquialism of grabbing the hook, or it's even used in sports terms nowadays when someone like a baseball pitcher needs to be pulled to get the hook and pull them out of there. And it's just I just love the idea that this thing it's not quite a weapon, but it's ending someone's career, at least for that one night.
Right. I do love the idea of the sports terminology of it, and I do wish that was actually part of the game, that the manager actually had to bring the hook and actually wrap it around the pitcher as he tries to struggle to stay on the mound. That would make baseball a little bit more exciting, I think.
Now, would you see this up on the Jumbotron or something like that, or?
Yeah. Usually the Jumbotron, a lot of times whenever the opposing pitcher gets knocked out of the game, you would see that. I remember back in the 80s, you would see the little video.
Like a goofy animation, yeah.
Yeah, of like them getting the hook when he gets pulled off, yeah.
I love it because it's like Yelp 1901.
What did I told Emily, I was like, I said last night, I was like, this is the original version of like cancel culture.
Yeah. Was it at the Apollo Theater they have a clown with a broom or something like that, or it was the Sandman? I forget who.
Yeah, he has a broom and he would sweep you off the stage. Right, exactly.
Yeah. All right, man, Freddie, your final choice.
All right, so I'm going to give the hook.
Oh, shit.
See what I did there? And I'm going with the Peterman walking stick, otherwise known as part of Kramer's pimp outfit from Seinfeld. So this is originally, Elaine had to write a catalog entry about this walking stick that J. Peterman had, and after she was done with it, she didn't know what to do with it. So, of course, Kramer being Kramer, swooped it up right away. And it looks like the ultimate pimp walking stick. I mean, I just picture what a 70s, what Rudy Ray Moore would be walking around with in the 70s, and this is what it looks like. And through a series of contrivances, he winds up with a amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat jacket, winds up finding a woman's hat, and winds up strutting around town, basically looking like a 70s pimp. And it's the perfect accessory for this ridiculous outfit for a ridiculous character. Just the way that Kramer is kind of moving down the street and he's twirling his cane. It's sort of playing off of that idea of the archetype, like I said, of the 70s pimp. That I think everyone has a pretty good idea what it is, but it's ridiculous because it's Kramer.
Yeah.
And I just love that idea. And it's one of my favorite little... of all the Seinfeld like C plots, it's one of my favorite like little just visual things that happens on the show.
That is a funny. Kramer accidentally becomes a pimp.
Right, and he ends up getting arrested because they think a prostitute has broken into his car and he's trying to get her out, and the cops come and he happens to be dressed just like a pimp, so obviously he's going to get arrested. And it all starts with the J. Peterman walking stick.
Yeah.
It's kind of the downfall because you can't resist a good walking stick. Like I would carry a walking stick, I think, if I was the type of person who actually dressed up in something other than, khaki shorts and t-shirts all the time, because you would look ridiculous if you're just being a schlub like me, but with a fancy walking stick. But if I was somebody who actually gave a shit about what I look like, I would definitely consider having a cool ass walking stick. No doubt about it.
As a theater kid, the prop room was always a fun place to go. If you got a hold of a walking stick, there was something you could take with you to fourth hour, fifth hour, maybe take it home.
Oh yeah, you can walk with it, you can twirl it, you can pretend that you're a marching band drum major with it.
Yeah.
Super versatile. Who wouldn't want one?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want one?
So much distinction.
Exactly.
Yeah. There was a comic friend who had a bit for a while about the accidental pimp genre of films. And it was really only, I think, a few films. Well, three, I think. It was Risky Business, Dr. Detroit, and Night Shift.
Right.
But that seems like we're fleshing out that genre with that episode of Seinfeld.
Now we can get a Mount Rushmore of accidental pimps.
Yeah, there we go. Shoot. We just
did a whole new episode. Just nailed it. Good job, everyone.
Good job. So any parting comments? If not, I'm going to see what's still left up on the Mount Rushmore. You know what? It's just such a better dance reference. So putting on the Ritz from Blue Skies has been chiseled off because, oh my God, who doesn't love Dick Van Dyke and probably sweating his ass off in Pinewood Studios or whatever, doing that dance. So
I was gonna offer, if that didn't get knock it off, I was gonna offer Gene Wilder performing "Putting on the Ritz" using a cane in Young Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, that's so cool. And that's actually
and
better.
Peter Boyle too.
And Peter Boyle, yeah.
Absolutely cold from that. So let's say here's the Mount Rushmore, the Tramp's cane. Let's go with Gandalf's many sticks. He should have a caddy with him.
Yeah, that's true.
What's Radagast the Brown doing now?
Yeah. And then
having bird shit in his beard, that's what he's doing.
Why don't we go with the old bamboo and the shepherd's crook? So is that a Winfield sweep or what is that?
I got one and Winfield got 3.
No, Richard, you got 2. You got Gandalf's staff, right. The little tramp.
Sweet.
And then I got 3, although Willy Wonka's cane seemed to have gotten lost in the shuffle there, but that's okay. Whatever choices you make.
Okay. All right. Well, dudes, thank you for humoring me on this goofy topic. I appreciate it. This has been the Mount Rushmore of canes, walking sticks, and scimitars. I, as always, am Jeff.
I'm Richard.
I'm Michael.